Okay, today we are playing a game on Route 66. The average SR of this game was 2,120, and we will be playing Symmetra the entire way through. And our current team composition is D.Va, Reinhardt, McCree, Reaper, Symmetra, and Zenyatta. So the issue is that our only healer is Zenyatta, which is a taboo in most civilized parts of the world. Conventional wisdom would also be that you don't want a Symmetra on attack. I don't care. Life's too short to be upset about the fact that somebody is playing a DPS hero that just happens to be resting in the support tree. Here's the thing with, like, Symmetra attacking, right? Because fundamentally, what Symmetra is about is zone control. And this naturally makes more sense on defense because you're defending a zone. But you can do this on attack as well. Here's a very straightforward example. Suppose you're attacking Anubis, right? And your team goes through the left-hand side. You're playing Symmetra. What you do is, you get into the room on the left-hand side, and in front of the if the enemy team is in the room with the large health kit, you put turrets alongside the door on the outside, and then the defending team can't come in and actually kill you anymore because the turrets will fuck them. So you create a forward base in that area. Then, you get control of the room with the large health kit, you move in there, you just move your turrets around the door, and on the outside again, and again, the enemy team can't come in and fight you, because if they do, they've got to fight you in the room where you've got the large health kit, and now there's turrets in there as well. They'll get fucked. You create a forward base for the attacking team, basically. And then, if you manage to get control of the point, you start killing people, you put turrets around on the point, suddenly it becomes way harder for them to retake the point because you've got turrets all over the place. It doesn't matter. Yeah, it's harder to create a zone of control when you're attacking, but it's not impossible. So you have to continually move your line of turrets up with your front line. But then, the defending team becomes a lot harder to wipe you, because they will, even if they're defending, they have to come into you eventually to actually kill you, unless you're all just getting picked off for free. But if that's the case, you got bigger problems than the Symmetra on your team at that point. So, I don't care. But I do care that our only healer is Zenyatta, because that's absolute trash. Because Zenyatta's not really a healer, unless he's using his ultimate, is he? Let's be honest now. Anyway, so, let's start the game. So, we're playing on Dorado right now. We're not playing on Dorado, we're playing on Route 66. It's deserty, you know, whatever, close enough. So, this is not a fantastic map for Symmetra, because it's fairly open, and what we're doing right now is ultimately a waste of time. I'm gonna say this, and people are gonna go, oh, well, fucking obviously. Well, no, not fucking obviously, because you'd be surprised how many people don't know this. You want your turrets to actually be somewhere they're gonna hit people, because otherwise, they don't do anything. No one's gonna really come all the way out here. If they do, just fucking shoot them, honestly. Like, what you wanna do around here is, like, put them... It's hard on, like, the best you can do for this part, really, is, like, put some on the back of the payload, so that it's harder for them to fight you on the payload. And some around, like, here, and, like, around the entrance to the mine, because those are the places, and then maybe, like, some around the door frame up here, but, like, they can see that from the roof of the gas station. So, it's gonna be hard to put any actually helpful turrets up here, because there's nowhere you can put them where they can't just break them for free, really. You can put some on the pillar, like opposite, if you put them really high up, on the side facing the mine, then you won't be able to break them from just in the mine, because they'll be too high, but they'll be shielded from the gas station. Anything else up here is not really helpful. And here's the other thing as well. You want your turrets to be in a place... There's a fucking fly in here again. You want your turrets to be in a place that's an awkward line of sight. If you just put a row of turrets along the ground, that doesn't really do anything, because think about what the person does, right? They come out of the tunnel, they turn right, and they're like, oh fuck, turret, and then they look down slightly and they break the turret. You want them to be in an awkward line of sight, which usually means high up, because then, if you do that, that's not much of a movement. If you have to do that, that's a lot harder to break, and it's a much more awkward movement they have to make, and it takes longer to break the turrets. So just doing this is ultimately not helpful, and it'll get, like, one tick in, and then it'll be broken, like so. We then chuck that over there, and that's not a very good use of the shield, because you need that to actually, like, fight people. Or block really important things, neither of which was going to happen there. The best thing we could be doing right now is just being with the payload, put some, like, around the payload, so that it's hard for them to fight us on the payload. Put some, like, around the tunnel, maybe, like, along the ridge here on the back. You know, that kind of thing. It's going to be hard here on this part of Route 66. It'll be easier on the upcoming points. And then just start right-clicking at fools on top of the gas station, because you know they're all going to be up there. And when you're playing Symmetra, the most important thing in the world is build ult charge as quickly as possible, because you want that thing down as quickly as possible. Whatever you're going to place, generally the teleporter, but whatever you're going to place, you want it down as quickly as possible. And what we do is we spend a lot of time up here not really accomplishing anything, and thus not really building very much ult charge. So we start coming around here. Basically, we want to flank right now is what it seems like. Because we just chucked our E at the Farah, which was not going to do anything, we can't just fight this dude. Because if we had our E right now, we back up a little bit, we E at him right now, and then we just walk at him, and he's like, oh god. And then he's got to move into us, but if we're just like jumping around him like a fucking gibbon, he's panicking because we're tethered to him, it's easy. We again just chuck the shield right into the wall right there, and it gets nothing done. You need the shield to, like, fight people and block important stuff. Like, again, we're going to get into a fight with Reaper right now, and we don't have our shield to just chuck at him and start a fight with. But McCree's here, so it ends up not mattering anyway. So we've gotten over here, and we decide that we're going to put a little turret nest around this doorway as well. You don't really want to put, like, all your turrets really tight together either, because then, even if they're, like, really awkward, if McCree just goes, all the turrets are gone, or Lucio's just like, poof, and they're all gone, didn't really accomplish anything, even if they were out of the way. So you don't really want to just put them all tight together. This is, like, direly not our area. Also, make sure to reload during downtime. We're walking around with 14 charge in our gun right now, not very much, so as soon as we tether to the Farah, well, we just end up having to reload immediately. This is also just not our thing, and we just saw Zenyatta throw Harmony Orb on her. So, ideally, what would be happening right now is we aren't low ammo. We just look down at Zenyatta, chuck our E at him because it's off cooldown, and what's he gonna do? He's gonna be really fucking sad that Symmetra's walking towards him, microwaving him. That's not our thing. Don't worry about things that are not in your area, because it's not in your area. You can't deal with it. Go and deal with what is in your area, which is the Zenyatta on your plane, and, like, with no way of defending himself other than just killing you. So the quality just massively tanked, but apparently we're still on 720. So that's very interesting. So we have our ultimate now. It's taken us a while to build it up, but we finally have it, and we just put it here. Just, like, put some turrets around it, so that it's got some defense, and someone can't just walk in there and kill it. This is also a recurring thing in this game. Like, we are actually on this, right? No, we weren't. Alright, I was fucking lying to me. God damn it, YouTube. Alright. There's a recurring thing in this game where we, like, are putting turrets down when we could have just kind of been microwaving people. Which is... That's, like, the thing with Symmetra, is her left click is really fucking strong. 120 damage per second at max charge is really fucking strong. So we got that point, and we've just gotten our ult fully refunded. Because no one actually used it. So, you know, the thing with Symmetra is that you can put your teleporter on a fence in, like, a flanking position, but that's sort of dependent on the map actually having a good position to put it in. Like Anubis, again, very clear and obvious example. Room on the right-hand side on the first point, upstairs, large health kit, put it in there, put turrets around it. That's really annoying. Bam, we're on the point immediately. Second point on Route 66, less so. Best we can basically do is put it over here, but we put it in, like, an awkward location, because we put it just, like, in a main line of sight. Because you can just stand outside of this doorway and break it, whereas we could put it over on top of the health kit, put some turrets around it, and then go off and do our business. And try and, like, stay roughly in the area so that we can defend it if we have to, and then we come out when we see an opportunity to be aggressive. Where we've left it is just very exposed, and we don't really put much effort into defending it, honestly. So, here, we're putting a turret down when we could just be microwaving this Ana. And, like, I guess the idea is that it slows the Ana. The Ana is not, like, the slow is not gonna matter. The thing that's gonna save Ana is that she tranks you, basically. Or somebody comes over to help her. Like, just start microwaving a fool. If you get an opportunity to be on their backline, just start microwaving those fools as soon as possible. Because it's a miracle you got there, to begin with, honestly. So, you just start microwaving, and if they don't react to you quickly enough, you kill that person. You've got a fully charged beam now. Oh, onto the other backline. Oh, that one's dead now. Oh, now that one's dead. And then you just walk through them all. Don't, like, waste time putting a turret down. Just start microwaving them, because time is of the essence, frankly. So, here's a D.Va. D.Va has to leave, because otherwise she's just going to be sad. We, again, elect to put down a turret. We can just walk at this dude. There's no need to, like, worry about it that much. We got our E. We can walk at him. You just E at the Zenyatta, and you walk at him with your shield, and there's nothing he can do to stop you. You'll just kill him. So, if I want to be frank with you, we honestly, like, get carried through this game, because I don't feel like we ever do very much of help during this entire game. Like, no one even really uses our teleporter. As you can see, we put that down right at the start. We're the only one that used it this entire point. So, these turrets not gonna do anything, because no one's ever gonna come through there. Like, you want to beat these things to be in places where they're actually gonna be useful. So, like, along this wall, along the similar wall, along the other side. And again, like, spread out high up if possible. But, like, in that doorway, pretty unlikely for anyone to come in there. No one also ever really comes in this room, except for the attacking team to pick up the health kit. So it doesn't really do anything to put turrets in here, either. You want to put them in places they're actually going to hit people. So, like, yeah, like here, behind the boxes. Sometimes defenders come up here, like, maybe you put one there. You put them, like, high up on the beam around the side there. There's, like, a pillar on this side as well, on that side of the pillar. Like, you want them to be in places where the defending team will actually have to walk into you if they're going to fight you. Right now we also want to just, like, be right-clicking into fools so that we can get this last bit of ult, so we can get this ult down faster. But, you know, whatever. I'll put some turrets there. So we see a Toblerone is doing the Rotato Potato right now. We can just right-click at that dude and he'll be really upset. Oh, he's actually right over here right now. Is he rotatoing? Yeah, he's rotatoing. We can just be, like, right-clicking at that dude and, like, breaking his shit and killing him. There's a Reaper hanging out over here. Like, what have we really done over the last, like, 30 or 40 seconds of this game? We've just kind of, like, hovered around the sides, not really doing anything, just, like, putting turrets in not very helpful locations. There we use our E, and then we don't follow it into these people. Like, if you E into someone, you want to be able to, like, walk into that person and actually kill them, because it's, like, really hard to deal with that. You ever had a Symmetra just running at you behind her shield? You just feel so powerless. Also, like, place turrets quickly. If you're gonna place turrets quickly, you want to be... If you're gonna place turrets, you want to be like, bam, 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 and then you're off doing your business, whatever your business is gonna be. Don't just, like, put them around four corners of this doorway. That'd be really sad. But, like, you want to just be... You want... Time is of the essence. Overwatch is a very fast game. You have to do everything fast. If you're putting turrets... okay, I'm off. Doing things again. Not just, don't, like, you know, so here's a Molten Core Torbjorn, and we've got to microwave him, and then we break his turret as well, because it's conveniently right here as well. We put our turrets up here. These are, frankly, completely useless, so that's just a waste of 3 turrets and the time it took us to put them down. That we could have been spending something, doing something better, like microwaving this Reinhardt that tried to kill himself, and did in fact succeed in killing himself. Over here, we find a Reaper running around. And you can put, like, some turrets over here is not bad, because then you can control the high ground of the truck, which we do want to do, because we don't want, like, the high ground is really fucking overpowered, as we know. Here, we almost just get ourselves killed on that turret. We could have even just, like, chucked our E at it again. Isn't it amazing how well this is going, especially considering our only healer has been Zenyatta? It goes really well, doesn't it? Like, it feels like we got really carried, honestly, because it didn't feel like we did basically anything through that entire round, except on the final point, some people actually used our teleporter, and that's kinda it. So, so now we're defending though. So this is more conventionally Symmetra's thing. So, going back to what we were saying about our turrets, we want them to be in places where they're actually going to hit people. Which is like, oh, well, fucking obviously. No, not fucking obviously, because what people do is they go, and they microwave like one or two people, maybe, and then they get broken as soon as the enemy team comes around here. What we want to do is actually put some like there, like here, around the corner right there. You can put some along the bridge that goes across, like, on our side. Like, you want them to be where the majority of the enemy team is actually going to go, and the majority of the enemy team are going to go with the payload. Like, people are like, I'll put them on the flanking route so that you can't get flanked. Fucking, like, they're meant to be a line of defense. If you are like, oh, they're going to flank me, and you put like 6 turrets right here, what actually usually happens is no one, like maybe one person comes through this doorway, and then they just go, they're all gone. And then, well, that was really that was great, wasn't it? Fucking incredible. What we want to do is you do want to put you want to go out and put like a few turrets near their spawn, because when you're defending, you want to build your ult charge as quickly as possible, because Symmetra's ult is really strong. A teleporter is pretty powerful. You want to put a few, like, over there as quickly as possible so that you're regenning them really quickly. And then you put 3 in, like, forward, like 3 or 4 forward. And then you put you put the remainders over here, right? And then you're like, alright, I'm at 6 turrets. These 3 turrets, they're gonna get broken really quickly. They'll get you some ult charge, but if you put them down quickly, you'll have regen them up, so then when they get broken, you can just really quickly put another 3 turrets over here. All 6 of your turrets are now in a defensive position, and you got some ult out of your turrets that you put over there. But they do have to be somewhere you wanna predict where most of the enemy team is gonna go, which is really easy on a payload map. And less so if there's a control point, but it's not too hard to imagine where they're gonna go. Don't put like a bunch of turrets over in these places. Just put them like, like that. Doesn't necessarily come up that much in this game, but like you'd be surprised how few people like actually understand this. So again, we want to put them like high up and out of the way. So like, we want them high up because that's a harder movement to make, so that it takes just a little bit longer to break them. So like there, like there. No, we don't want any on ground level, really. Like a couple, like maybe one, but like these ones that are on the ground, people are like, I'm gonna put it in the bush so that people can't find it. There's a fucking like glowing laser coming out of the bush and touching me. I can in fact see the turret. You want them in hard to look at locations. Some in that tunnel are not bad because like that large health kit is fairly important also for people like people put like fucking loads up here and it doesn't make any sense. Like you can just stand up here or just walk up here. So we put like all our turrets over there because like if you see, we've got 3 turrets built up right now. If we just put 3 turrets over there and then like 3 turrets, like one there and like one on the bridge or something like that, whatever. Then we've got 3 turrets. We move over there. Good to go. But all of our turrets are broken and we only have 3 turrets now. But we want to be putting those turrets back down real quickly before people actually get in here and start fighting again. And that's not very good because people can see it from the top of that ramp and just break it for free. You do want it to be like, you don't want to put them in any places they can just be broken for free, really. So as we can see, they've got a bastion, which is, fantastic news. We are currently just getting beaten to death by Reinhardt, but he doesn't actually beat us to death. Don't die as Symmetra before you can ult. This is incredibly important. Do not die before you put your ult down. If you have died before you ulted, you played bad and should feel bad about it. Very important thing with Symmetra. You put like 3 turrets, you do the turret thing we already talked about, and then you right-click where people are gonna go. Your right-click is a fucking lot of damage. Like, you send that through them. If it's like Fire Strike, you send it through someone, that's like 10 charge right there. And then you just build up your ult really quickly. Like, a good Symmetra builds up her ultimate in, like, the first 10 or 15 seconds of the game. And that sounds ridiculous. It's actually not. Because if you think about it, people go through really predictable places. People are fucking stupid. They just walk into the orbs, or they don't dodge them, and you send them out at varying angles so that it's harder to dodge them. And you build up your ultimate really quickly. And then you just go, and you put it down. Like, 15 seconds 10-15 seconds is very easy to do as a Symmetra, actually, because you've only got to hit somewhat, like, 1 or, like, 2, 3 people with your orbs. Damn, that's most of the ult right there. Like, we actually have a lot built up right now, and we only really microwaved 1 person. It builds up really quickly. So, again, we want to put these turrets down really quickly. We don't really want to be worrying about it too much, and we want to be, like, up there, right? Like, we don't really want to be sitting on them that long if we don't have a full set of turrets out. So here's Reinhardt again. Reinhardt's not allowed to do this. Reinhardt's, getting away with it, though. We want to go put our teleporter down as quickly as possible, especially since we just lost people, so we put it over here. Put some turrets with it, just in case, But now we get to come over here and start microwaving people again. Reinhardt's really scary. As soon as Reinhardt starts coming towards you, you start backing away from him. Because here's the thing. Basically, Symmetra is a melee character. Reinhardt's also a melee character. Reinhardt's gonna kill you before you kill him. So, Reinhardt we've got to be really careful about. Because he can just beat you to death. Bastion's not allowed to do that. Bastion's dead now. She's getting into her mech, but we got a fully charged beam. Like, we know which way she's gonna go. Because she's gonna try and get away from us because we're attached to her. So we should be walking that way so that we can stay tethered to her. As she's flying away, we probably break her mech if we're walking the way she's gonna go instead. And then maybe she comes this way, then she's gotta go through more of our team, so same basic thing is accomplished. So again, we want to put these things where the majority of their team is gonna go. That's still probably over here, not through that tunnel over there. People don't really come around that way. That way's not a very productive place to put a turret. There's a trap right there. That's okay, that's free charge right there. Build, like, player-created things and shields still build charge on your beams, so those are also important to think about, because just, like, shooting into a shield starts charging up the beam's damage. And holds the charge as well if you have it already at full charge. So, here comes that. If you know a tire's coming, just start charging up the right-click, because you kind of want to just chuck it at the tire, Oh, here's Reaper. Throw E at him. Like, just... as soon as you're gonna start fighting the dude, throw E at him, walk at him. Try to throw it, like, doorway-wise, so it doesn't just, like, break on the wall, because, like, you want it to go as far as possible. And, like, yeah, it's probably not gonna get much done going out the doorway anyway, but it can do more than if you just chuck it at the wall and it breaks. It's the little things that add up over time. So, they're gonna take that, like... don't do this. Like, this is pointless. These turrets are going to get broken, and there's a really high chance you die. We're going to go kill ourselves right now, by the way. Because we're not actually allowed to do that. We're doing a lot of, like, trying to flank stuff as Symmetra. Symmetra's not very good at that. In fact, Reaper just finds us and kills us. So, here's what we want to do instead. Because we know they're going to get through here. Because they're taking it right now. So, we don't have our ult built up. We want to build our ult up as quickly as possible. So, like, maybe go up and, like, put some turrets, like, there. Like, try and get some ult charge off of it, whatever. But, like, where do you realistically defend? Back at the bridge by the workshop. So, we go back there. Maybe we put maybe we'll put, like, 1 or 2 inside the bar because people go through there. And then we put some, like, on the bridge that we defend under, and, like, on the side of the bar, because the people, they have to come through the side of the bar, because that's where the payload goes, and some, like, on the side of the workshop, where the majority of people are gonna go. We've got to get set up again, because we lost all our turrets. We've got to go set up our new line of defense now, and start building our ult. So we go put them in those places, and then we start right-clicking at these people, and we build up our ultimate. We don't have much to go. We've only got to hit, like, 1 or 2 people with our orbs, and we're gonna be good to go. Again, if you die and your ult isn't on the ground, that means you played bad and should feel bad. Because, like, it's pretty important. Having a teleporter down is really important. And, like, we almost have it right now. Could have just, like, right-clicked a fool, and we would have had it. Teleporter, very important. Shield generator can be important, but the teleporter is usually more important than the shield generator. Shield generator seemed really overpowered when it was initially pitched as being the alternate thing. Honestly, teleporter is better in almost every situation. Because, like, usually the way you get killed is your team gets completely wiped, and, like, yeah, shield generator can help with that. Honestly, the most helpful time to use a shield generator is, like, if the enemy team is a bunch of, snipers, because then it's harder for them to just kill your team. So, we have our teleporter right now. We want to put this down as quickly as possible. This is unabashedly awful, and is now broken. Basically any other location on the map would have been better than that. Just, like, putting it in this room is fine. Because here's also the thing with placing your teleporter. People are like, oh, I gotta hide it. The more important thing is not that it's hidden and hard to find, it's that it's hard to get to. Because, again, Anubis is a really straightforward example. The best place to put it is usually just in the first point. It's like the room on the right, or the room at the back of the point. Yeah, they know it's there, but they gotta kill your whole team to get to it. They don't get to just go up and kill the teleporter. It's more important that it's hard to get to than it is hard to find. So, like, just the room up there is fine, because that's hard to get to, right? It doesn't matter if it's hidden. It's just that it's hard to get to. The Volskaya first point, like the control point, the big room over the back of the point. Actually very hard to get to, as long as you're still trying to, like, defend your teleporter as well. Yeah, they can see it through the fucking window, but it's hard to get to as long as you're making an attempt to protect it. So it'll come as no great surprise that we're going to lose this point. And they're attacking with a Torbjorn right now, which is a lot worse than attacking with a Symmetra, by the way, because Torbjorn doesn't at least just get to do a lot of damage. I mean, he can, but it's pretty hard. So we're walking out into the path of the turret right now that we know is there, because we already died to that turret once. That's not really a great idea. So now we're on the third point of Route 66, and this is the best place to be Symmetra, because it's basically a straight line. People are like, well, the teleporter won't do very much good here. Teleporter is pretty good everywhere, actually, because saving just like 2 or 3 seconds getting back is pretty good use of company resources, actually. Plus, Symmetra does a lot of killing. Fire in the hole is happening right now. That's pretty scary. So, right, like, we're flanking again, and we're going around with Reaper, so we got a buddy this time. But, like, we've just walked directly at this like, throw the E at it. Like, we just walk at it in a straight line, and we're already dead by the time we get there, and we don't even get to do anything. Better use of company resources. Setting up our new line of defense, charging our ultimate, and then putting down the teleporter or the shield generator, whichever we feel like putting down. Rather than going and doing this flanking business. And this one's really easy, because there's basically only one way for the enemy team to go. I would put the teleporter down right now, because we're not all here right now. The important thing is recollecting as quickly as possible. It's like, yeah, the spawn's right there. You still say, like, if the person's got no real mobility, you still save, like, 3 seconds of them walking back. Like, that's still worth it, honestly. 75 HP can be important, but is not really in this kind of situation, where it's basically 2 teams just, like, smacking into each other and seeing what works out. Shield generator's better if it's like snipers and people who are trying to poke you down, because it's harder to get poked down if you've got 75 regenerating hit points. And snipers have to work harder to actually kill you at that point. If it's just like 2 people butting heads, 75 HP is usually not that big of a deal. Especially since most teams are honestly trying to wombo you to death. Teleporter's more helpful in that situation as well. But like, what we should have been doing is just like putting our turrets down instead of doing this flanking stuff. And it's really easy, because like, oh, like right there, like one there, like over here, right? They gotta come through this way, and like this is where they're gonna have to come. So we just like put some like, you know, like around here, like over there. Oh, there's like a pillar over here as well, you know, like, man, maybe down there. We want to like setting up our new line of defense as quickly as possible, because you gotta set up your turrets as your line of defense, because, well, that's kind of what turrets are for, you know? And again, in a route they're actually going to take, because I've seen people, I've seen it, they put all 6 turrets over here, no one fucking goes through that doorway, they don't fucking do anything, turrets have to be somewhere, they're actually going to hit people, it sounds like something that's like, duh, it's fucking not, like, people are like, oh, Symmetra's such a no-skill hero. Yeah, she's easy to play mechanically, but it's like, game sense is still required. That's not a great use of the shield, because he's going to back away from us and get around it, and it just breaks on the wall. Like, throw it at the health kit so you can walk at him, basically. That just doesn't do anything. So, and this is like, it's pretty long cooldown on the E, right? And there we were walking into somebody, like, putting the turret down when they're coming out of the doorway, and we just get killed before we even start microwaving them. Our shield generator now broken because it got killed by D.Va's ult, but our D.Va's ult killed 3 of them, so... Here's their Torbjorn. He's using Molten Core. The turret is doing the Rotato Potato, and we are dead. But we get rezzed. Bit of an overreaction. But his whole team is dead, so doesn't even matter. We got super carried in this game. I feel like we did basically nothing the entire game, but it worked out. And the entire time we were attacking, our only healer was a Zenyatta. Ooh, isn't it incredible? Is this our Zenyatta? I don't know what our Zenyatta's name was. Yes, it is. Good job, Zenyatta. Look at that. Oh. He ulted so good. High skill play. So. Very important. Like, yeah, like, flanking and all is cool and all, but, like, very important. Just set up your line of defense as quickly as possible, because it's kind of the point of Symmetra. She's a zone control hero. She's not a flanking hero. She's basically, she should be in the defense tree, as far as I'm concerned, not the support tree. And, like, I've seen such, like, stupid arguments about this, where it's like, oh, yeah, she doesn't heal you, yeah, but she helps the team win. Who fucking doesn't help the team win? That's such a fucking... I hate people. I'm really salty today, and I don't know why. I just am. I'm just thinking about how stupid people are, and it's upsetting me. So, just set up your line of defense as quickly as possible, because that's the entire point. You zone control. Put your turrets in places that people are gonna go, and like, yeah, you can put like 1 back there, like 1 or 2 like back there where you think somebody's probably gonna come from, but the majority of your turret should be where the majority of the enemy team is gonna come through. And then the other very important thing, if you don't have your ult down, that's the most important thing. Building your ult and then putting it down. Don't play mega aggressive and risk getting yourself killed, because it's very important you put your ult down before you die. It's very easy to build your ult very quickly as Symmetra. So just do that, play passive, right click through people, build your ult. As soon as your ult's down, now you can play more aggressive. You still have to try and defend whatever your ult you put down was, so you're still sort of limited in how aggressive you can play. But until you've put your ult down, it's very important you don't die. So just build your line of defense very quickly. Move it as necessary, and then prioritize building your ultimate. Then you can try and play more aggressively, but like also don't try and flank that much, because like Symmetra's not really allowed to do that. Like, she can do that, but you need to be given an opportunity for it to happen. You can't just force it. That being said though, I know you're learning to play Symmetra, and I do think it's very important that when you're learning to play a hero, you do just play aggressively, because then you learn what's too aggressive, and then you learn what the limits of your hero is. A person who never plays aggressively never learns how aggressive they can be, and so they're still not taking advantage of their hero. But until you've put your ult down, staying alive is very, very important. So, those are the things that stood out the most in this game, so thank you very much for watching if you did. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. I'm more than happy to answer, and I hope you found the video helpful.